Top 20 Things and Missions by Voyager Spacecraft. Hi guys. Welcome to True Channel. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. Top 20 Things and Missions by Voyager Spacecraft. So make sure to watch the full video. 1. It pays to hedge your bets, but also to bet big. Voyager was born in the late 70s when several planets were observed aligning in a very convenient way. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, they are accessible in a single trip. It turns out, always too. Because it's difficult and expensive to execute a trajectory that hits everything perfectly, let alone sink them if things go wrong. NASA decided to launch two identical vehicles, one after the other. The former will take close-ups of Jupiter and Saturn, while the latter will take them from different angles and hopefully capture Uranus and Neptune. Everything, well, most, went according to plan, and Voyager was one of the most productive and surprising missions ever in space. 2. Ambition is human. As long as you're sending stuff into interstellar space, why not prepare for the possibility of alien interception? Moonshot doesn't properly portray the ambitions of the Golden Record Project and the low likelihood of intelligent life encountering it. But that's beside the point. The Record and Voyager have inspired generations to believe that things are worth exploring and trying just because we can. And because it's part of who we are. Carl Sagan, one of the most human scientists, compiled the very human content of the gold records. The idea of our unique existence, from our biology to our beauty and philosophy, floating in space is awesome. 3. Jupiter is a cosmic storm. High resolution and many images are taken close in time. The first video shows that the planet, and in particular its famous red spot, is a chaos of fluid interactions, huge storms that have been raging for billions of years. The question of which direction the red dot turns is also definitely settled, and there may still be plenty of bets. Counterclockwise. 4. Jupiter's moons are a fascinating zoo. This photo is a composite image, but these are all satellite images taken by Voyager 1. Europa, Center, has drawn attention for its shallow surface features, particularly after Voyager 2's second pass. It is the smoothest object in the solar system. Callisto, bottom left, was found to be ancient and cratered. And Ganymede, bottom right, was established as the largest moon in the solar system, showing signs of active tectonic processes. But it was Io who surprised everyone. 5. Io blasts spirits. Images of Io show a massive plume extending nearly 200 miles above the surface, a volcano. The first of its kind that we have encountered outside of Earth. Further research revealed that Io was likely volcanic, as it was jostled by Europa and Ganymede, generating subterranean tides of sulfur, oxygen, and sodium that spewed out a mile per second. It's been doing this for a long time, filling the space around Jupiter with matter and contributing to another new phenomenon seen in passing. 6. Jupiter has a faint ring. If you look closely, you can see a narrow, faint ring of dust. Boy did Voyager know. Observed. The planet's rings are an important clue to its past, but first, you need to find them. You can see the orange line on the left side of this image. Later images show it more prominently in sunlight. 7. Saturn is very complex. Saturn's more subtle markings suggest it's a calmer planet than Jupiter, and to some extent it is. But Voyager 2's radio detectors have revealed complex jet patterns that suggest a planetary gas deep helium. And hydrogen flows can stretch the surface. Voyager 1 approaches Saturn in November 1980, followed by Voyager 2 in August 1981. 8. Saturn's rings full of insight and mystery. 444 mysteries in the visible spectrum may make Saturn's rings appear largely homogeneous. Voyager discovered they were far apart. Close inspection of these rings reveals dozens of different layers, corresponding to different types and periods of formation. The history of Saturn's moons and satellites is written in the dust here. Not only that, but it's not just a bunch of circles, there are radii, oscillations, and other variations. Some of which are due to the slightly botched regrouping of the moons of Pandora and Prometheus. 9. Titan is covered in primordial soup. Voyager scientists are particularly interested in Titan. It is known to have a thick atmosphere. It turns out that Titan has a thick layer of complex hydrocarbons like ethane, which can even form lakes on the surface. This organic soup may be similar to that found on Earth before life emerged. Of course, the -292-degree weather on Titan is not so inviting. 10. Saturn is beautiful from this angle. Well, that's just a cool photo. When Voyager 1 was en route, as Saturn knocked it out of orbit behind the ecliptic. And the other planets, it took this picture of Saturn looking toward the Sun. Pretty, right? 11 Uranus is tilted much more than 1 in 20. Voyager 2 approached Uranus in a different orbit in January 1986. An unprecedented observation of the planet was made, which is tilted. The axis on which it rotates is parallel to the ecliptic, rather than perpendicular. Imagine that the Earth revolves around the Sun with the North Pole in front. What scientists didn't know, however, is that Uranus' magnetic field is tilted differently, 60 degrees from the physical tilt. This means that its magnetic tail forms a kind of corkscrew during the night of the planet. It's complicated, but believe me, it's pretty cool. 12 Moon. The moon is everywhere. Another montage shows the 5 moons of Uranus that we know of: Ariel, Miranda, Titania, Oberon, and Umbriel. In order from largest to smallest. But Voyager 2 also discovered not 1, not 2, but 10 previously unknown satellites around Earth. Cordelia, Ophelia, Bianca, Cressida, Desdemona, Juliet, Portia, Rosalind, Belinda, Perdita, and Puck. It's a good thing that Shakespeare has so many characters in his plays. 13 Miranda is very weird. The first close observations of the moon Miranda show that it is so irregular that it looks like a cosmic error. It has huge canyons 20 kilometers deep, with strange shapes, but also areas that have probably been undisturbed for millions of years. It is believed that Miranda may have been partially destroyed in an ancient impact and remodeled into this unsightly shape. The moon is unlike anything else in the solar system. 14 Neptune's surface is incredibly varied. Neptune has a variety of surface features, including the Great Dark Spot, first observed by Voyager 2. It is about the size of Earth and looks like a large hole in the clouds created by shifting layers of the atmosphere. As you can see, other clouds stand still, moving and casting shadows, creating a startlingly Earth-like scene 30 times farther from the Sun than Earth. 15 The windiest place in the solar system and the scooter. At first glance, Neptune is by far the windiest and strongest in the solar system, carried in the Great Black near Matara. They reached 1,200 miles per hour. Beneath the dark patch in this image is a bright white dot that circles the Earth every 16 hours. About the same length as a Neptune day. Of course, they call it a scooter. Below is Dark Spot 2. Which looks like an eye and probably should have been named better. But that's okay because they've all since disappeared. 16 Triton gets close-ups and a new story. Voyager 2 engineers have calculated the orbit that used Neptune's gravity to send the spacecraft not far from Titan. Revealed in incredible detail. The intricately textured surface of evokes a rich geological history, and it's covered in geysers that spew nitrogen and dust into space. Triton's odd orbit also tells us that it wasn't always a moon of Neptune, but was captured at some point and possibly melted away from the associated force. Titan is also the coldest place in the solar system at 38 Kelvin, or minus 391 degrees Fahrenheit. 17 Goodbye, Zodiac. Voyager 2, like its predecessor, left the ecliptic detouring through Triton, after which they all flew inexorably towards the outer reaches of the solar system. I think this farewell photo of Neptune is particularly beautiful, although not particularly remarkable from a scientific point of view. 18 Planetary Self-Portrait. Do you have the impression that the series is missing a planet? Ah yes, the Earth. This portrait of the planet marks the first time a spacecraft looked back and saw Earth and the Moon at the same time, on September 18, 1977, 2 weeks after the launch of Voyager 1. 19 Colonel Light Blue. One of the most stunning images ever taken, pale blue dot depicts Earth as part of a huge panorama of the solar system taken on 6. Just a tenth of a pixel wide in 1996 Voyager 1 of the month. That's when Voyager was far enough from the ecliptic to see all the planets from above. It's hard to imagine a better display of the scale of the universe. Carl Sagan probably thought so. 20 Black. More than 30 years after leaving Earth, Voyager 1 became the first spacecraft to enter interstellar space. Although there is some debate over exactly when this happened, researchers generally agree that the spacecraft left the heliosphere, the region that dominates solar radiation, in August 2012. Voyager 1 has since become the first and only source of information on what happens outside the small bubble where our planet and everything on it is confined for billions of years. This research will continue until some time, probably the year 2025, when his radioactive power source will decay to an unusable state. However, it will continue to fly to the rest of the universe. Remember, the golden record doesn't need electricity to operate. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go.